Hi, I'm Shirley Jones, and this is Gemma Winger's Hollywood.
Academy Award nominee for The Godfather, so that's probably what you're best known for.
Boy, I'm pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and four-time Golden Globe Award nominee.
Yeah, I never win anything. It's just like getting awards and no jobs. I'd rather get a job. They're going to give me a piece of glass.
I know.
can't eat
You eat
glass.
regular
Oh,
that way.
nice.
God bless. Thank you.
God bless you. You take care.
How about a kiss goodbye? Adios.
Hello, I'm Martin Landau.
Hi, I'm Florence Henderson, and you're watching Gemma Winger's Hollywood.
I'm Gemma Winger, and we're here at the Jeffrey Foundation fundraiser for the Jeffrey Foundation. I see Alice Morris Winston, the founder. I see Elaine DuPont Calhoun, as well as Lee Merriweather, Peter Mark Richmond, Jane Meadows, and just so many more celebrities who are here to celebrate and to help raise money for one of the best causes in the whole world. So let's see who we meet today. We're here at the Jeffrey Foundation in downtown Los Angeles at this historic mansion, and talk about your relationship with the Jeffrey Foundation.
Well, now, Steve and I had closed in one of the shows that we did in Las Vegas, and we were driving home. We had the 4 boys with us, and the youngest one was our son, and he was a young boy, and it was getting dark, and it was just a country road, and we saw a car by the side of the road that had broken down. And this very beautiful woman, no man there to help her, but a dear little boy. And Steve loved children so much that I can remember times we were flying to China or somewhere, and if he heard a child's crying in the airport, he wouldn't get on the plane until he found out what was wrong with the child. And people were saying, Mr. Allen, you're going to miss your plane. He said, I'm busy. And as soon as he settled that the child was tired, he would get on the plane. And so he said to Alice Winston, who, you know, is the power behind all this magic that she's done, he said, can I help you? And she said, oh, thank you. Now, that is a good 35, 40 years ago. And we met Jeffrey, her little son. And I don't remember, because 35, as I say, years ago, I don't remember what we did to help her, maybe telephoned or something. Steve wasn't mechanical. I know that he didn't do anything, you know. But we somehow kept up with her. And we, from the beginning of the Jeffrey Foundation, we have been, I say, how she did it, I don't know. I remember the years, that other charity that we used to do, Your Mother Was Always There.
The Southern California Motion Picture Council.
Right, and you were little girls, well, not little girls, but you were young, and you were...
7th grade.
And not only that, but I look at you and I think, she's the age of my son. You girls, I mean, where has my life gone? It's like I looked around and there I was coming to America. But I wouldn't change it.
That's right. God has you right where He wants you.
I have these 3 women that take care of me because they say I mustn't fall again. I've had so many, you know, problems with my osteoporosis and vertigo. All my life I never had a single disease. Never missed a performance, never. I just, God blessed me so, and I tell these lovely caregivers, I say, you know, God loves me best of anybody. And they get laughing, and I say to the one who's driving me, you see that red light? Going to turn green as soon as we get there. And it does so often. But every day of my life, there's something. Yesterday and today were difficult days, and every single thing turned out right.
Praise God.
Yes, Absolutely. I say that all the time. I've had a contract for about 25, 30 years with one of Steve's publishers to do a book. And for years, they would come out from New York and they would wine and dine me when we would go to New York. And I said, what am I going to write about? I'm not a writer, I'm a storyteller. And they said, just tell the stories. Now, I did write 2 things for Larry King's book, and I wrote 2 for Hugh Downs, and I've written, I wrote what was the one, Fantasy Island I wrote. I wrote the outline for the last Touched by an Angel, because she had adopted 2 Chinese beautiful little girls, and she wanted to do it on China. And I said, well, and she said, can I ask your help? And I said, of course, what do you want? And unfortunately, her ideas, I said, but that wouldn't be quite right. I said, I'll write an outline. And then, of course, she's a real writer. So she just, but when I saw it, she sent me as a gift a television set. And when I saw the show, my father in the pulpit, me there with the sheet white skin and the red hair, surrounded by those beautiful Oriental faces, it was in the church that I have the to-scale model in my home, the Forbidden, City. And I have written a lot, but now they want me to write. The family wants me to write everything, so it's like they have the story of our fleeing and all the things that happened.
Thank you, Jane. This was so much fun.
Well, you are, Mom. Let me tell you something. You should be on NBC or
Oh, you're so sweet.
because you are so relaxed and you talk you're really interested, and you also have a lot of facts. You had facts to lead me into.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, really and truly, you're a natural. You should be the biggest thing.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And
Oh, Jane, you're a doll.
you know Jesus loves me. Jesus loves me. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. 也许乃我晓得，生命告诉生命本，放小孩子之梦魇。也许乃我I can't remember it. I haven't sung it in 40 years.
That was great. I have the famous actress Elaine DuPont. She worked with Elvis Presley. She was in Ozzie and Harriet. She played Ricky's girlfriend, and she had the Corriganville
Movie Ranch.
where over 6,500 movies were filmed.
Correct. You remember that. Good. And it was on a 2,000-acre ranch, but they weren't all westerns. So Around the World in 80 Days, Ben-Hur, and of course all the westerns. Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, Tales of Wells Fargo. They were all made there.
So did you get to meet all these people?
Of course, they're friends.
How exciting.
Yeah, so that makes it really good. And Crash was very famous. His partner was John Wayne in the Three Musketeers and the Rangebusters for Republic Studios, which of course is no longer. But they had all the cowboys. That was the in thing with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans and all of them, Gene Autry.
Well, I know what everybody wants to know is what was it like working with Elvis Presley?
Oh, he was wonderful. It was so cute. He didn't realize I was married, so he kept saying, come on, you got to go out with me tonight. I'll take you anywhere you want for dinner. And I said, Elvis, I'm married. He said, oh, you're just saying that. And I said, no, I really am married. And he said, who are you married to? I said, Crash Corrigan. He said, oh, my God, will you get an autographed picture for me?
How exciting.
He was a fan of Crash's because he loved westerns. He always had the guns and the whole thing. But he was a sweetheart. He was so nice. Then
in this day and age, it's like they would go, oh, I'm married, but it's okay. We could sleep around. You know what I'm saying? But you had those morals.
Yes, and then, of course, I worked with Marilyn Monroe, too, which was kind of interesting. Now, there's another sweet lady. We sat on the sets for hours and just talked, and she didn't have any makeup on. Her hair looked like it was combed with egg bitter, and she was still beautiful.
Combed with an egg beater. I like that.
You like that? And a robe that she always wore, and her famous bracelet, her famous charm bracelet. And she just was just adorable.
What was she like?
Very sweet, unassuming. You just wouldn't believe that was Marilyn Monroe, but it was. It was How to Marry a Millionaire, where she couldn't see where she was going. Remember that movie? And then the other one was, let's see, There's No Business Like Show Business. So that was great too.
Well, what do you think happened? What do you think went wrong in Marilyn's life that she would have the tragic ending that she did?
I think she just got involved with a lot of people, and they were all tugging at her, pulling her one way or the other, and her agent and everybody else. And she just didn't have any time to really sit down and say, where am I going? And I think that's happening with a lot of our newcomers. They've had their chances. Now, come on, girls. Just get out there and really think about where you're going. And that's what it's all about.
They've had so much given to them, and now they're losing it all.
That's right. They really are. And it's a shame because they don't have to. They don't have to be in jail. They just don't have to be.
They're so beautiful and so naturally talented.
That's right. And they're out there, I don't know who their influence is, but I sure wish their mothers would get on them.
That's right.
Seriously, I think the mothers have something to do with it. I have a grandson that's 9 years old. You have to talk about your grandchildren when you get to my age, okay? And this is priceless. He's singing the Amazing Grace and Ave Maria, and he just turned 9, and he's singing Schubert's Ave Maria, which is really difficult. And so his other grandmother's saying, now just sustain the note a little longer, and he's going. She says, I know you're a perfectionist, but nobody's perfect. And he looks at her and he said, God is. And she goes, ooh. And he says, as a matter of fact, Mary is too. And she said, no, don't give me that, Chandler, because I'm not Catholic, but I believe in God and all that. And she says, well, what are you, vegetarian? He meant Presbyterian.
Oh, he meant Presbyterian? I thought he really meant vegetarian. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that a funny one? I mean, they always come up with, it's Art Linkletter. I've given him a couple of things that my kids have said, and he used to use them.
You're kidding.
No, he really loved them because, he did, the kids say the darndest things, and they do. Like the other 6-year-old, I said, oh, Cody, you've been so good the last few days. I'm so proud of you. Well, I haven't been good since. You can't make these up. They're so out there. So
yes, kids are so cute. They give us so much joy.
They really, really do. So I think I sent my 2 daughters in the right direction. One has the 3 boys and the other has the 2 daughters. So hopefully they'll turn out okay.
Congratulations. Now you have a story about the ranch. Tell us that story.
Okay. Crash had a heart attack, and so I had to run the ranch for about 2 years by myself. And we were always open to the public. And one Sunday, the 2 big cowboys came over to me and said, Elaine, the guy that you let on the ranch all the time that wears a robe and the rope. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, he's in the saloon, and he's mooching beer off of everybody, and he's telling everybody he's Jesus Christ. And I went, oh, okay, let's go over. So I took the boys, the 2 cowboys, and they were big, like 6'3". We went over, and I said, you know what? I went right up to him. I said, you're going to have to leave. He said, who's going to make me? And I said, and he lunged at me. And so the cowboys grabbed him by the arm, took him out the swinging doors of the saloon, because all the buildings were practical. Took him out, and he turns around, and he said, I'll get you, lady. Oh, whatever. So about 6 months to 7 months later, I picked up the LA Times, and I froze. I think all the blood ran out of my body. It was Charles Manson.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I mean, every time I see his picture, I cringe. Don't let him out.
That's right. God protected you.
He was over my shoulder, that's for sure.
What got you into show business?
Well, it was a dare. I went and auditioned at KTLA. It was something like American Idol. It was Hollywood Road to Fame, right? And so you had to compete each week for about 10 contestants. And one of the contestants was, I thought he was a contestant, but he was really a guest, was Tennessee Ernie Ford. And I thought, oh, I lost that one. But he turned out to be a guest. And then Natalie Wood performed. She was a ballet dancer, the best. And we became best friends, and our children became good friends. So it all evolved. And one day, the gentleman that was the MC said, well, we're going out to Corrigan's Ranch. And I said, well, what's Corrigan's Ranch? He said, it's a cowboy, you'll find out. So when I got there and sang a classical song like One Kiss and Make Believe, he said, well, you can sing one Western song, we'll put you on our show out here. And I said, oh, Western song? Okay. whatever. I learned one Western song. Guess what it was? Old.
Oh, I don't know. I only know the new ones.
Oh, give me land, lots of land. Don't fence me in.
Okay.
It worked. It worked. And then I married the boss.
You got on the show and married the boss, and from there, everything catapulted.
That's right, it did. And he sent me on my first interview at MGM, and it was Joe Pasternak's, what was it, the swimming thing with Esther Williams. Easy to Love, that was it. And I got there late because I had to take 2 streetcars and 2 buses to get there. And so when I got there, everybody had already gone. It was
2 streetcars and 2 buses.
to get there. So no car. So anyway, I got there, and Joe said, "Excuse me, but you're a little late." And I said, "Well, I had to take 2 buses." "Oh, give her a part. She got a cute face." I never got that part, but I was sent over to Columbia, and my first movie was From Here to Eternity. I had an incy-bincy part.
Congratulations.
You never know in life where it's going to take you.
You are cute and adorable.
Oh, look at her. She's beautiful.
Oh, I love compliments. Just keep them coming. Make me feel so good.
That's great. And I love your mother. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, you have a great relationship with Alice Morris Winston and the Jeffrey Foundation. Tell us about that.
A long one. I've known her for 38 years when she had a little cracker box on Vermont Avenue. And she was telling me the story about her son Jeffrey had 3 things wrong with him. She was trying to be an actress but couldn't leave her son. And then she founded the Jeffrey Foundation. And now you know where it's at. It's wonderful. So it's all for special kids, special needs, and they really need it. So every time I see little kids out there, I think, go to the Jeffrey Foundation. They'll take care of you.
That's true. That's true.
And it's just so heartwarming. I'm known as a high five lady because when I walk into the little ones that are 2 and 3 years old, they go, "Whoop."
Oh, so you've been there before. What's it like?
Oh, it's beautiful. And it's so clean, and the kids just love it. They're so helpful to clean things. They clean things up too. Oh, they won't leave any dirty things around. The teachers are very good too. So when they go home, they've learned all this, and they help with mom too.
So it's a happy place to be.
Oh, very happy place. Right.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Elaine. It was so great to see you.
Oh, you too, Jenna, and join the party.
Okay, I will see. That's right. Woohoo! I have Ann Jeffries here, and all of us know her from General Hospital. She's one of the longest running stars on any soap opera that there have been, and she's still beautiful, attractive, both inside and out.
Well, thank you. You don't know me that well. How do you know how good looking I am inside?
I can see your smile.
She cute. I don't profess being a General Hospital star, even though I worked on it for 8 years in a reoccurring role. It's not the kind of work that I really like. I liked when I did the Topper series with my husband, Robert Sterling, and Leo G. Carroll. That was the highlight of my television, not General Hospital. But it was great fun. It still is a good series. And if you can get it, because we took it off the air for 10 years, a legal thing. And I wish that it could be back on all the time now. We shot 79 of them, if you include the pilot. And Leo G. Carroll was such a love. And of course, working with my husband, Robert Sterling, was really nice.
Oh, hello.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Top. What's all this for?
Oh, that's for Larry Hartford, Saturday night.
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot.
By the way, old man, how did you happen to meet Larry Hartford?
I haven't met him. Oh, thanks. He's being brought here by his fiancée.
Oh.
You mean he's engaged? How could he do that to me without even knowing me?
Who's the lucky girl?
Mrs. Baskerville's niece, Ellen.
Not Ellen Baskerville.
Why, do you know her?
Know her. Know her. Ellen Baskerville. Poor, tragic Ellen Baskerville.
You sure you had the right woman?
What is all this?
And Mrs. Baskerville. Poor, frustrated Mrs. Baskerville. How she loved me.
Because we worked very well together, and we enjoyed what we were doing. It's a wonderful, wonderful premise, you know, these people that are they're well, not very happy that they're killed in an accident, but they are. And as a little girl, I had seen the movies. My grandmother took me to the movie Topper with Roland Young, Cary Grant, and Connie Bennett, and Billy Burke. And oh, I just loved it. I just loved it. And so when they approached us, Robert and I were doing a nightclub act, and we were at the Sands in Las Vegas. And they called and said, would you like to do a television series of The Topper? I said, oh, would I, would I? Because as I said, I had loved the movie so much. And they said, well, when you come to Los Angeles, we'll do the filming. And so we were playing the Coconut Grove with our nightclub act, which is no longer there. Oh, so sad. And during the day, we shot The Topper.
That's a long day.
Oh, yeah, but when you're young and you're strong, c'est la vie. And that really, we filmed the pilot, and our next stop was the Fairmont in San Francisco. And while we were up at the Fairmont, they called and said, cancel your tour, cancel your tour. It's the fastest selling pilot. So we did that, and the rest is history. It was a wonderful series, and you can only buy it on DVDs.
Yes, well, I'm going to go get it, actually, now that you told me about it. Did you always want to be an actress?
No.
What did you really want to be? And then acting just happened.
I wanted to be a doctor or a veterinarian, but I sang at a very early age. And my mother was a frustrated opera singer. She wanted to sing opera. And when she heard me, this little tiny baby carrying a tune, and it's very difficult for vocal cords are not developed yet, you know. So when I did that, she said, my singer. And from then on, I sang in public first time, I think, when I was 5. And she had me coaching all along. And I had, at 10, I had my own radio show, Raleigh, North Carolina, Raleigh-Durham. 15 minutes of song 5 times a week. So that was great, and it was a good experience for me. So then I was sent off to school, and of course I majored in music. And when I got through all that, we moved to New York, and I was a John Robert Powers. I guess a lot of people don't know who that is today.
Oh, yes, they do. Oh, maybe, I don't know if they're just born or something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I became a Powers Junior model and studying my opera at Juilliard on the side, you know. I had to make a living. So I was modeling junior stuff, and that was very, very nice. But we came to a point where Mother said, it's time for you to go to Hollywood. So we packed up and went to Hollywood, and she found an agent for me, and the rest of it was just fell in place, you know.
What was it like working with Frank Sinatra? You sang with him?
Oh, yes, yes. If you get the film, you'll see some of it. It was cut, but that wasn't anything to do with Frank. It wasn't. And we had a scene in a telephone booth where I am the vamp, and I'm chasing him, and I get him cornered in a telephone booth, and we start this song. We sing this song. That was great fun. I spent 3 days in a telephone booth with Frank Sinatra. And
life is rough.
And he was the big hot thing at the time, you know. And I thought I was very sophisticated. And I found out later he was 10 years older than I was. I didn't know that. But I was very sophisticated.
And you really like that, huh?
Yeah, oh yes.
Is that one of the most exciting things that's happened to you in your career?
No. No, I sang Tosca, the Brooklyn Academy of Music, in, what was it, 1948, somewhere in there. And that was the biggest thing, because from that, Kurt Weill and Maurice Abravanel came back to see me after the second performance of it. And they asked me to do Street Scene, which is actually an American folk opera. Everybody in it is an opera singer except 2 people. 3 people, actually, because we had 2 dancers and one sort of comedian. He was wonderful. And that really changed my whole career, because I said, oh, I like being on the stage. I like it much better than being behind that cockeyed camera. So I got released from RKO, and I stayed back on Broadway. And I did 5 shows in a row, so that took care of quite a few years.
Most of your life, no.
Yep, and I went out with Kiss Me Kate, the national company, and I did 887 consecutive performances.
You are kidding.
Well, anyway, it was a wonderful life and a wonderful time. And here I am now at this beautiful party for the Jefferson Foundation. And they do such wonderful things with the kids, you know, so I'm glad to be a little bit of a part of it.
Oh, well, it's so wonderful that you could come and just donate your time to be here. I have Alice Morris Winston, and she is the founder of the Jeffrey Foundation. And tell us how the Jeffrey Foundation began.
Well, I came to California from Chicago originally back in the late 60s, actually 69, and I came here for Max Factor. They had hired me to do a lot of demonstration work. I'd been a model and actress, and I was so excited about my new job, and things went well for a while. But I had my little son Jeffrey, who was 4.5 when we came out, and we had just found out when he was 2 that he had muscular dystrophy. So I was taking a big leap of faith. After some marital problems that didn't work out, I came out to just start a whole new life for Jeffrey and I. But unfortunately, there was no child care for children as disabled as Jeffrey. So I started a child care center called the Jeffrey Foundation. And that's how it all started in 1972.
Was it just for special needs children, or was the child care for all children?
It was originally only for special needs. I had been working with the Muscular Dystrophy Association because that's what Jeffrey had. So most of our children really were muscular dystrophy children and their parents. And I had such a great feeling for them, knowing what they were going through. So we first started with counseling for the parents. And then we started with recreation programs for the children, sort of at the same time, going to the beach, having art classes, learning dance and music and fun things that the children could do.
And you started small, and now you've really grown.
Well, we've grown in 38 years. Of course, this is our 38th anniversary. And Jeffrey...
Congratulations.
Thank you. Jeffrey passed away in 1980, so that's over 30 years ago. I think it's 31 years or something. Yeah. Anyway, he was 16 when he passed away, but he had lived quite a great life, all kinds of friends and loving things in his memory, and I'm just so proud of it. I think of him. I wish he could have been here tonight to see all these wonderful people, celebrities, elected officials, and members of our committee, our Circle of Love committee, our board members, friends like your mother, Bea, and other people that have been such dear friends and supporters.
What's your favorite part about running this organization?
Of course, it's being with the children. I go in and I see my early childhood children on up to school age after school and high school after school, and I'm just so proud. I mean, it's all in Jeffrey's memory now, but it's because all of the needs that I had with him. It's heartwarming.
It definitely is. It's very touching. And where is the Jeffrey Foundation located?
We're at 5470 West Washington Boulevard, and sort of mid-Los Angeles. We're not quite on the verge of South Central, but we have many, many children from the lower income areas of Los Angeles that come. And now we have inclusion, which, as you know, has been a state law now for several years. But
so you have general education students as well at your foundation?
Yes, we do, and we're very proud of that, and it's working very well. We were the first private agency to go with inclusion, and it was not easy because being used to only working with special needs, our teachers had to go that step further and know how to do program planning and working with children who were not special needs. So it's quite a mix, and it's very interesting, and it works. I think the evening has been a great success, and we've all enjoyed this beautiful ancient home. I mean, 110-year-old home where a lot of movies were made, and we're just enjoying the evening, the ambiance. I am so really touched by the support that we've gotten through the years.